Hello folks, my name is Robert North. A question: have you ever thought that Jesus would not be associated with what we know as Christianity? I've thought that my whole life. I've traveled a long road seeking the real Jesus. I was a Jesuit. I then went on and got a doctor's degree in counseling at the University of Florida. I taught at several universities, and then I started my own management consulting firm. About 14 years ago, I stopped my life and I wanted to find the answers that I hadn't been finding, which is, who was the real Jesus and what was his core message? I put myself in a cabin in the desert outside of Santa Fe. And there, on the internet, I discovered what is called the Gospel of Thomas. In the first sentence of the Gospel, it states that Jesus composed that Gospel. In the second sentence, it says that he dictated it to his disciple Thomas, who may have been the scribe of his group. Now, when you look at that at face value, you say that's impossible. We would have heard of that Gospel. I mean, how could anybody cover that up? I mean, what's it all about? Well, as I explored, I found out that the Gospel was discovered in 1945 in a jar buried in Egypt, in a place that is now called Nag Hammadi. I was so fascinated with the document that I said, whether Jesus wrote it or not, I'm going to pool my resources and write a series of books about it. And that's what I began to do. Its primary message is, in order to become a grand human being, you must leave religions. That's a very powerful message. That is a reason why it could be concealed in the first century. In fact, Paul came along much after Jesus died in the year 50 and presented his gospel. And it's interesting, Paul does not quote Jesus. Why? Because he had a message that would upset society and upset everything that Paul believed in. I've written now 5 books explaining this gospel. I published the first book about it. It now has received wonderful criticism that makes me want to republish. Jesus, it turns out, in my judgment, was not a cleric. He was not supporting religion. He was a therapist. He was showing people how to become a grand person and how to have an experience of God based on experience, not on blind faith. That's a radical message. What I found is that his message is how we all, throughout the world, can end our divisiveness, which is we are divided by our secular religions. For example, communism, democracy, conservatism, liberalism, we're divided. The book has the answers. Secondly, we're divided by religious blind beliefs. One blind belief contradicts another, and the people conflict in the families, between countries. Jesus had the answer. Now we need to get it out. And so I am wanting to invite you all to be involved with me and my team. I've got a team of people who, including a publisher, including editors, book designers, who can get this out, 5 books out in digital format in one single year. Let's let the world see what really Jesus said, and let the world decide whether he composed it or not. Now, to help you decide whether you want to be involved, if you look below, you'll see that in the text I've got 3 links. When you click on the links, you will download free parts of 3 books. You will see my style, you will see the evidence concerning the authorship of the book. You can begin to decide whether there was a cover-up or not. You will see a selection of the poems. You can see that they're wisdom poems, that they have nothing to do with religion. And you can see why Jesus actually had the core insight about how we can develop ourselves rapidly. And I hope you do. Then over on your right, you will see ways that you can provide support to this project. There are many pledges that you can make, and in return you will receive a number of things that I've outlined there. But do help us if you would, and if you're interested in getting this word out to the world. Thank you.